Fear is something that lives rent-free in all our minds, but it's not always the villain that we think it is. At its core, fear is just a signal, your brain's way of saying, hey, this feels a bit risky. But here's the twist. The thing we're often most afraid of, failure, rejection, embarrassment, are rarely as catastrophic as we think it is. Fear loves exaggeration, turning small risk into giant roadblocks. The irony is, the more we let fear dictate our life's choices, the smaller our life becomes. What I have learned is that fear doesn't mean stop. It actually means an invitation to grow, to push past our comfort zone into a space where the magic happens. So, the question isn't, how do I stop fear? Or how do I stop being afraid? It's how do I stop letting fear make my decisions for me? Hi, my name is Miriam and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My channel is all about social commentary, motivational and educational content. So if this is the type of content you like, feel free to subscribe down below. So let's look at the definition of failure and how it can manifest itself in different ways. Fear of failure often shows up very sneakily and in a subtle way, and it can feel as it's a part of your personality rather than a response to the fear itself. So it can manifest, for example, as self-doubt, where you're constantly questioning your ability or feel like you're not good enough to succeed. Procrastination is also another sign of the fear of failure, putting things off, not because you're lazy, but because you're afraid of not getting it right. Then there's overthinking, where you get stuck in analysis paralysis. I know you've been there. Analysis paralysis. Even I suffer from this too. Replaying every possible scenario and convincing yourself that failure is inevitable. These behaviors create a cycle of inaction and missed opportunities, reinforcing the very fear that's holding you back. Fear, as we know, is a completely normal human emotion that we all feel, but it's how we deal with this fear. I want to talk about looking back on how fear has impacted my life and how I've overcome that fear. So, for example, when starting my Airbnb business, I was overwhelmed by a massive fear of failure. I thought of, worst case scenarios like, what if I'm not skilled enough? What if this business fails? What if I'm not, what if I don't have enough money to start? All these things kept creeping up in my mind. And it was making me doubt everything, making me doubt if entrepreneurship is even for me. But then I reminded myself about something crucial. Every successful person who we admire today has felt the fear of failure. But do you know what makes them different? They didn't let that stop them. So in 2024, despite the doubts, I took the leap of faith and started my own Airbnb business. And guess what? Within the first 2 months, we were fully booked. Of course, the journey hasn't been without its ups and downs, because no business is. But if I had let the fear of failure win, I would have never discovered whether this path was right for me. Sometimes the biggest breakthrough happens when you're willing to step into the unknown. So I want you to consider this, right? Look at yourself. Think about why you're scared of failing, why you're scared of, just afraid in general, why you're scared of failure. And think about that, and think about all the successful people around you, all the people that inspire you. If they had let the fear of failure, control them, they wouldn't be where they are today. So you take that leap of faith. So what if you fail? what is so bad about failing? Because you can learn so many things from failure. For example, failure is a way to get feedback, and it's not an end point of life. So if something doesn't go to plan, right? It's not the end of the road. It's just a sign that's pointing you towards a better path. So every failure teaches you something you couldn't have learned otherwise, right? So the second lesson you learn from failure is growth. So growth only happens outside your comfort zone. So staying where it's safe might feel good at the moment, but nothing extraordinary will ever come by playing it safe. So you need to get up and take the leap of faith, because this allows you to truly grow into your best self. And here's the big one: fear of regret. When you look back to this point, you're not going to think about how many times you've failed. You'll be thinking about the opportunities you didn't take. So don't let fear of failing stop you from going after your dream. Don't let fear stop you from achieving your goals. Remember, failure is a bridge to success, right? Is that bridge to success. So don't let fear stop you from achieving your goals. I know that overcoming fear, it can be a huge challenge, but it's not impossible. So here's some practical steps I'm going to give you. First, reframe what you think failure is. You don't need to conquer everything at once. Focus on taking small steps and building your confidence over time. So those little wins, that you do can add up into bigger things that feel less intimidating. So for example, if you have a fear of speaking to someone new, right? Just smiling at someone new on the street can be a thing that you push yourself to do. And that can be a small win for you. Maybe the next time you decide to say, hi, or be the first person to make the first step and say, hi, my name, I just want to introduce myself to you. Maybe that can be your sort of way of coming over the fear of, social anxiety. You also have to adopt the what if mindset rather than the what if I fail mindset. That what if mindset will allow you to push towards achieving your goal. It's going to give you that courage, it's going to give you that hope, and it will allow you to push towards that goal. Finally, you need to visualize the worst case scenario. Often we blow fear out of proportion, where we, when actually thinking about it, the worst case scenario isn't as bad as we actually think. So, think of the worst case scenario and think of, would this actually end my life, or would this actually make me better? So what is the reward versus the risk of actually doing this? Like, for example, if I want to start a YouTube channel, right? If you want to start a YouTube channel and the worst case scenario is that no one subscribes to your channel, that's the worst case scenario. But the reward of actually starting your YouTube channel is that, you get to make an impact in people's life. You get to grow, right? You get to, change your career. Probably you get to get brand sponsorship, work with amazing brands that you love. That's the reward. So think about the risk versus the reward and actually think, is this as bad as I think it is? Are people, for example, with YouTube, are people going to just make fun of me and stuff? Is that the worst that can happen? My friends laugh at me. If I look at the rewards, I'm actually building a brand for myself. I'm creating a personal brand for myself, and I can, elevate who I am. So don't let fear hold you back. These steps are for you to think about, how to overcome those fear and move forwards in confidence. Just to end this video, if I had let fear rule me, I would not have started my YouTube channel now. I would not have started my Airbnb business. I would have still had fear, and fear will stop you from achieving your goals, right? And what I want you to take from this video is push past it. Have a what if mindset. And you never know unless you try. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you really like this video, leave a comment down below, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.